Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. So the war rages on, and there's nothing that any of us peons can do about it. I listen to quite a few podcasts during the day, and well, honestly, the ones that I listen to are very divided. Some of them think that Donald Trump has destroyed his presidency, and he's losing his coalition from the MAGA people, and I can see where they think that. I can definitely, see that is a thing. The idea that he has just gone to war without consent from Congress is really upsetting a lot of people, myself included. Iran's been a thorn in the side of the Middle East for a long time, and with the most recent long-range missile attacks on Diego Garcia, well, it's proven that they have lied. So the idea that they can use these long-range missiles while the whole time they're saying they don't have them, well, that does lead one to be suspicious about whether they have nuclear technology in the makings or not. We're committed now. We have lost troops. We have lost people. I think Congress needs to get behind the president, and the rest of the world needs to get behind this motion that he has set forth and take care of business and get this settled once and for all. That's not saying that I agree with his initial attack on Iran last summer or this year, but it is what it is right now, and we have to live in the now. So I think they need to finish it. And I think that the only way that he has any chance of finishing it is if he gets the rest of the world behind him. And saying that, I don't know that he can. So I don't know that we can finish it. So who knows? Also this weekend, the wife and I went down kind of a deep rabbit hole with Afroman. And it's a very funny song. My wife and I have listened to it a few times. We actually watched some of the testimony also. If you're not familiar with Afroman, he's a rapper, and his breakthrough song was Because I Got High. And in the song, he talks about all the things he didn't do because he got high. And it's a funny song. It comes up occasionally in our lives when it pops up on YouTube, and we have a good laugh with it. Here's a very quick scenario of what happened. The police tore up his front gate. He had a gate, and then they kicked a door in of his house after they knocked and no one answered. They kicked a door in, and they came in with, firearms pulled, and the people that were there, as I understand from his testimony, which I watched, one of the police officers had an AR-15 and was confronting one of his children. He was quite upset, and I'm not sure what led up to this, other than he just having this reputation for getting high on pot, cannabis, marijuana. I don't know what today's terms, weed, and they didn't find anything. They found a lot of cash, close to $5,000. The amount this was part of his problem. The amount that they wrote down is not the amount that they returned to him. They returned to him in the neighborhood of $400 less than they wrote down, meaning either they wrote down the wrong amount or somebody walked off with around $400. If you're going to do this kind of thing, you better have your ducks in a row. They did not have their ducks in a row at all. They didn't find anything. They definitely didn't find a kidnap victim. They found a little bit of pot, and they found close to $5,000 in cash. Well, he had a home security system, and that home security, you need to do a search. You will get a huge charge out of the songs that he created from his home security systems video. And those songs that he created obviously was a huge embarrassment to these officers from Adams County, Ohio. Yeah, they got what they deserved as far as I'm concerned, because like I said, I don't know what led up to this warrant being issued by this judge or signed off on by this judge, but they didn't find anything. They found nothing. I'm not sure if Ohio is a legal state for pot, but even if they found some illegal pot, that definitely didn't rise to the level of the kicking in a door and tearing up his house. Afroman's contention is he put these video outs to get enough money to pay for the damage that the police did to his residence. I don't care about that. He's a well-known rapper. I'm sure he had enough money to fix his gate and his door. What I care about is the idea that the Adams County Police Department, or whatever, Winchester, I'm not sure if it was Winchester or the county police in Ohio, but what I care about is the idea that these officers sued this man for using video from his own home that included the officers because they were butthurt. They went after him monetarily in a civil lawsuit, and they lost, and they deserved to lose. They also deserve to be embarrassed for the way they handled business. You are law enforcement, and law enforcement is supposed to be, set on a higher level than the normal citizen. You have higher standards. You are supposed to be serving your community to the best of your ability. And if that's the best of your ability, a lot of you need to go. That was horrible. It was a horrible thing you did starting off with, and it was a horrible way to handle the search warrant once you did it. Afroman was not at his house at the time. He was driving back from a concert. Amazingly, he didn't even remember that there was that amount of cash in one of his jacket pockets. So the police confiscated the cash. They did eventually return it to him. As I said, $400 short. Yeah, he used all the video that he had of the police doing their business in his house to make some music videos. I guess they still call it music videos. I don't know. And post them. And he's probably made a pretty good amount of money from them. And I'm good with that. The police also cut his video feed while they were searching for searching his house, which is another, kind of step beyond what I think the police should be allowed to do. If you are cutting someone's security feed, their video feed, what are you hiding? Not only should you not be cutting their video feed, you should have your body cams on and make that publicly available. Horrible, horrible job. Should these people still be in law enforcement? Not my opinion. Anybody that wants to cut a video feed so that they can do something off camera is telling me that what they're doing off camera is not a good thing. So I don't know what your opinion on cannabis is. I don't really care what everybody's opinion on cannabis is. My whole mantra through my life is trying to bring freedom to people. And alcohol has done much more damage than any amount of cannabis has done to anybody. So in my opinion, it should be legal so that people can do what the hell they want. I'm not a cannabis user. Talked about that before. It's not my thing. When I went into the Navy, I took an oath, and I took that oath very serious. I thought about what they were going to ask me to say, and it was acceptable to me. So I try to carry out that oath. There's no expiration date on an oath you take when you join the military. And there's no expiration date on the oath you take as a police officer. And there's no situation where you should not be adhering to that oath. As a police officer, you take an oath to uphold the Constitution. And what these gentlemen did in that house, not just these gentlemen, let's widen the area a little bit further. You took an oath, and you should follow your oath. And if you're not following your oath, you're not an honorable person. It's that simple. It really is. And I've gone down some very, very deep rabbit holes when it comes to police injustices. It's getting out of hand. We need to go back to the basics. We need to go back to following your oath. You've really got to do that. It's something that you should endeavor on the daily to review the oath you took. And because you are front-facing to the public, everything you do should fall under the guidelines of that initial oath you took as an officer. And if you're not following your oath that you took to become that police officer, that law enforcement person, you're breaking your oath and you're not being an honorable servant of the people. That's pretty simple. So on a different topic, I had a discussion online about one of my previous episodes where I talked about whether I was a Zionist or not. And pretty much it ended up being that I'm by the original definition of the term Zionist, I can go along with that. Israel exists. It exists within the borders that it has now. It should be allowed to exist. It shouldn't even be allowed to exist. It exists. It is there. This is a reality that we have. So true to my kind of short research on the internet about what Zionist means, someone asked me if I was anti-Zionist. Roundabout. It was a long discussion, but this is what it came down to. And I explained it depends upon your definition. And if your definition means Israel has a right to exist as they are, I'm in. Almost immediately, the person that asked me that said, well, which borders are you talking about? No. See, that's when you start trying to muddy up the waters. And if you're muddying up the waters, I don't want to be a part of that kind of definition, because all that is some kind of political BS. Israel, right now, as it is, without expanding their borders, I support. That's pretty simple. When you start going beyond that definition, when you start going to, well, what about the 1948 borders? Or well, they're promised this from God, or I'm sorry, I'm out. But as far as Israel's borders right now, yeah, let them have it. I mean, I say that like I'm giving permission. What I'm trying to convey is Israel exists. That is what I support. Those people are there. That country exists. We live in the now. I don't live in 1948. I don't live in pre-1942. I don't live in historic America. I live in now. There was another guy that came on that said he only believed in the natural countries that existed, and he doesn't believe in any. It's all a cop-out. I'm sorry. The idea that you can say that you only believe in natural countries, you go far enough back in time and none of these countries existed. You go far enough back in time, we're sitting around campfires just trying to get enough sustenance to get to the next day. No one cared about countries. I have to live in the now. I cannot live in what you think the now is. I have to live in the actual now. And right now, I'm going to go downstairs and finish this coffee and get ready for work. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day. I hope that in your heart you can find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, see you around.